So, how much money in total do you think you've put into various online currencies, and how much money have you made by doing so?
Well, I started off by putting maybe a few £100 into my first currency, which was Ethereum, and from there it sort of grew on. And I probably put around maybe £5,000 into it, and the amount that I've made changes quite a lot. But I'd say I've made about like between 30 and 40,000.
Which online currencies have you invested in? Which was your first one? Can you talk about each one a little bit in depth?
Yeah. Well, my first one was Ethereum, which is sort of like, most people know cryptocurrencies by Bitcoin, which is the main one and which is most popular. But Ethereum takes like the technology to another level. Really, it's not just a currency. It allows for people to build their own applications on a decentralized sort of network, kind of like the internet in a way. So you can build applications on there, and also there's many different ones. Another big one's Litecoin, which is like Bitcoin but 4 times as quick, and it's also looking to add newer features as well this coming year.
So, how do these currencies actually work?
Well, they started off just by sort of the Bitcoin. It started off by using a process called mining to basically loads of different people around the world can use their computer their graphics card in their computer to solve sort of mathematical problems, which confirms a transaction on the blockchain, which allows people to send money around, and they actually keep the network up. But since then, more different kind of methods of sort of using the cryptocurrencies have come around, but mining's sort of the main one in right now, and I'll show you the currency I mined called Brosol coin. Because Bitcoin is quite a well-known one, it's hard to mine now, so people have sort of come up with more people use big self-made sort of computers made especially for mining, meaning they can actually mine a lot more Bitcoin per second than say someone like me with just a normal computer. You can actually mine just smaller coins, and you'll see it's doing 32 mega hashes per second. So that's how much it's inputting into the. Not very much, but.
And so can you make money off doing this?
So you can, on my computer you wouldn't make very much money, maybe a few quid a day just by leaving it on. But say if you had actually made a sort of one of these mining rigs things, you could probably make between like 10 and 100 quid or more. Just depends on your. But it also requires a lot of electricity, which is one of the things people are sort of looking at, saying is this sustainable for the future, especially if it's going to be more scaled and it's using this much electricity. So there's other coins now that have come out, for example Neo, which uses, if you hold some Neo, you can confirm transactions just by holding a certain amount, and you get paid just by holding it. So you make money just by holding on to it, which is quite a good sort of idea. And there's some other ones as well, but the main two are called Proof of Work, which is the mining one, and then there's Proof of Stake, which is the one that Neo uses, which requires you to hold tokens in order to help run the network.
And so what are the new upcoming currencies that you think are looking good?
Well, obviously you've got Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are sort of already the biggest ones, but I think Cardano is also a very strong sort of competitor for Ethereum, because Ethereum it's a similar network to Ethereum, but it's bringing in more of a scalable network, meaning because so many people are using these cryptocurrencies now that they can't actually really run very quickly at all. It can take days or hours to send funds around, so Cardano is sort of making it so you can send things around very quickly, and it's sort of scalable for the future. So I think that one could be very good. And also Neo, which is sort of named the Chinese Ethereum, and that could be big over in China, but I'd say Cardano is going to be a big one over here.
Yeah. And so, for those viewers who are wondering, how do you go about buying these online currencies?
Well, the easiest way is to download an app on your phone called Coinbase, and you can buy 4 currencies on there, I think. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, which is a updated version of Bitcoin, but it's a lot of people look down on it recently, but it's also a good coin. But yeah, you can just sign up on there. You have to provide your ID, and you can just buy them with your card, or you can actually meet up with people in your local area, and sort of there's a website which allows you to meet people like that.
So, obviously they have, they were brought in to do the deep web and whatnot. Can you explain why, why were they made, why were they brought in,
I don't actually know the reason why the Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto made it, but I reckon just to bring the power back to the people in the sort of use case of what this brings to the table is things like the deep web, where people can be anonymous and sort of do things online to do with sort of sketchy things, but that just demonstrates one of its use cases in my opinion, which is a good thing.
So can you explain what is the deep web?
So the normal internet's only really a very small percentage of the internet, and then you've got the deep web, which you can't access on a normal internet browser like Google Chrome or stuff like that. You need a browser called Tor, which sort of links to loads of nodes around the world, so it means you can stay anonymous while browsing the internet, and it has a lot of different things on there, including sort of darknet markets, which you can buy pretty much anything ranging from drugs to weapons and guns and that kind of thing.
And how did you yourself hear about the deep web? Have you been involved?
Probably by just seeing it on the normal internet really, and hearing about it, and also I've known friends which have ordered off there before, and they say it's actually quite reliable, and the people on there seem legit, and it's sort of like an Amazon for anything you want really.
How do people, get away with sending drugs and all sorts, through, your standard UK Royal Mail without being, undetected? How does it? Do you know how the process of it? How does it come?
Yeah, I think I've read about it actually, and I think they use like sort of packaging, which means no smell can get out, and also they're also sending them from different countries, so it's coming through customs sometimes from Canada or the Netherlands maybe, and they use reflective packaging, meaning like the machines can't detect what's inside of the stuff, so it just really goes through, and a lot of it's going through the Royal Mail as well. It's nothing really to stop it really.
And where do you think Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc. will be in 10 years' time? What potential do they have?
Bitcoin, I'd say, has huge potential. When it first started off, it was used more of a sort of way to transfer funds, but it's become more of a store of value now, because it's quite expensive to send around, and it takes quite a long time, so it's more like a savings account in a way. But I'd say it could easily reach 100,000 in a few years, and in 10 years, who knows, it could be more than 1 million, and Ethereum as well could be thousands. Yeah.